part of the data, but it is not important for the study then. And we also, Cooper has made a definition of what you need to have in the story, and it is very complicated, but I want to say it, you can read it in English, but I want to say it simpler. A story has a beginning, it has an action part, it has, and then something else came after that. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is what this definition says. Some theoretical says also that a narrative has a future. And that is why a narrative has to consist of the summary about what is this about, to put the plot, what is the plot about, and an orienting, where is it going, and then a complicating acting. That is what is happening, that changed something. And different theorists call it different things. Complicating acting, trouble, deviation from the ordinary, initiating event, incident event. I have done another study on work-related use of alcohol, and this complicated acting was when the employer discovered or thought that the employee had an alcohol problem. Then they had to do something else and their position at work changed. So you have to identify this changing point, which made people do something in another way. Then you have the evaluation of the situation, you have the result, and you have a conclusion. In order to see this, you can construct a new story, a new narrative. And then you have another way of telling the same thing is to point to different levels of a narrative. You have levels of the team, you have the levels of action, and if you think, when you look at the level of action, that this is about something else, then you have to go back and to see to the data, to see if you were wrong, if it was something more important than what you have figured out in the first time. So this is the hermeneutic circle we use when we do this phenomenological research. Probably many of you knows about that. We go back and forth to see if it is okay, and we have to change if we think something, if we have to do it another way, and understand it a new way. And then we have the level of telling, and we always tell a story. This is about a story about the present and a story about the future. And when we do this, we manage to highlight the most important plots. And then for us to make it possible for a narrative to give this new picture about something, it must have this special situation, the activity, and the change according to the activity. And when we are working with people who need changes in their lives, it is valuable to understand this. And Oakes have a very good definition of what we use our narrative in our lives for, and she says that the narrative serves as an important function of bringing the past into the present time consciousness. And I want to add something. She also says to make it possible for us to handle an uncertain future. We get anxious, you were speaking about anxiety, and when we get anxious, we do not know what will come and if we are able to handle it. If we use our stories about the past as we see it now, we can feel certain that we have something to meet the future with. We have some strategies, but we have to learn them. We can't get it from others, we have to make it our own to be able to handle difficult situations. So on this basis, we have made a matrice which make it possible for us to do some analysis. And if you look here, this is the level of analysis. The first time we have to see what kind of team are we talking about here, what is the most important the youth are telling us about. And then we have to have a level of action who change this situation. After the level of action, we need this level of telling, and because of what Oaks says about this handling the future, I have split it into the level of telling in two parts, telling about the present and telling about the future. And when we get a theme then, to show you the analyze, we do go for one interview or one conversation, have one young people telling about what he or she is dealing with, what happened, how they look at the situation now, and about the future. And we do this with everybody we interview. This is a qualitative research, so we do not have many, we have quite a few. And when we have done this on one team of everybody in the population, then we can identify one or several core stories. And sometimes we just see that all of them are telling the same story, more or less. And then we can come to what is important and see what the theory says about this and understand more and highlight their experience. So if we have different teams, we do it like this with another, the same way, on each and everybody, and then we try to see it all together. So this is the way we figure out how the youth are experience their own situation, what they are struggling with, and how it is possible to solve their problems. So we can join them in this research. They do it in a kind of research on themselves. And we do also an analysis and a theoretical explanation of it. Yeah. That's all about the method, the analyze method. So I wonder if you have some questions to what we are doing here, or on what ground we say this is a valuable kind of making data. It's quite different from using a screening tool. Any questions or comments? No? It's clear, yeah?